So this presentation was actually really interesting because I learned a lot about all the smaller Iranian proxies, and there's just so many different names of different groups, and it's so hard to keep track. So it was really good having it all kind of laid out with diagrams and color coded, and just also being able to understand from a more matter-of-fact perspective. I think this would be a good resource for people who haven't learned very much about the conflict, or who maybe are undecided of what they think is going on. I think this is a really important thing for more people to hear.
Hi, I'm Rabbi Lori Latskin. I'm the Chief Jewish Experience Officer at the Peninsula JCC here in the Bay Area. This is our second year bringing Avi to our community for a rich and textured discussion and introduction to the geopolitics of the entire Middle East, which really helps us have a context for the Israel-Palestinian situation, war, conflict, and the year of recovering and responding to these Hamas attacks that have created such a dire situation. We're really now able to see and understand all the regional players, all of the chessboard of different interests coming from different religious perspectives, from different power struggles and different desires to create a certain view of the world and certain role in the world. How Iran is a big player in this, and other countries that are in the region affecting what's happening on the ground. So I'm so grateful that Avi has been able to come and give small briefings, large public lectures, and really influence our community's understanding of how the Middle East is really working.
Hello, my name is Eitan. I recently graduated from Bloomberg University in political science, and I had the pleasure of listening to Avi Melamed lecturing us once again on the Middle East, unpacking the Middle East, the most dangerous and most complicated region of the world. To paraphrase certainly Mr. Melamed himself, this is the first time I've had the opportunity to hear it live, and I have to say, my goodness, it's like reading the book for the second time. I had the pleasure at 16 years old, about 2 years after the book was released, to read it for myself. The one released in 2016, Understanding the Middle East. And wow, truly, unbelievable experience at 16 years old. It really brought my understanding of the Middle East and my interest in the Middle East to life. It really acted as a catalyst for my interest in political science generally. And I have to say, the knowledge and the on-the-ground understanding you get of the Middle East from Mr. Melamed, you don't get anywhere else. And it's truly unmatched in terms of the delivery and the clarity of it. He really is able to communicate complicated, very tense geopolitical realities in a way that's very simple and easily digestible. So I have to say, go out, get the book, listen to him speak, come to the Y tomorrow night.
Hi, I'm Eden Roth, president of ITME here at Tulane University.
I'm Max, I'm the director of ITME.
We just had Avi come and speak to our club here at Tulane, and it was such an amazing experience, amazing night to educate our club more about the geopolitical conflicts, being context, being nuanced, and be equipped to enter conversations in our club, on campus, with our families, and in our communities. It was really an amazing night.
Yeah, Avi's presentation was awesome. He really explained all the nuances from pretty much the 600s all the way up until October 7th, and then where we are today. Plus providing the different insights on the Shia and Shiite differences and kind of where that's taken us and why it's escalated the conflict to where we are now.
Hi, my name is Rehana Adira. I'm a fourth-year student at McGill University studying international development and world Islamic Middle Eastern studies. As a Shia Ismaili Muslim student, I've had a really interesting experience since October 7th because I am a student that is loud and proud about the fact that I do not support terrorism, I condemn Hamas, and I believe that anti-Semitism has no place anywhere. Today, I had the honor of hearing Avi speak, and I learned so much. I think it was incredible for my peers and people I work with who I consider to be experts on the role of Islam in the Middle East, to see them speak and learn about this incredibly complex subject from a very well-spoken and educated man. And I highly recommend that other people hear what he has to say, because it was incredibly insightful. I've been pursuing Middle Eastern and Islamic studies at various levels since the age of 4 years old, where my grandfather would teach me about different events and prophets and leaders and imams. And Avi answered so many questions I didn't even know I had. So thank you for an incredible lesson. It's been so valuable, and it really filled a hole in my heart that I've been struggling with since October 7th.
Hi, so I'm a student at this university. This is my second year here. And I mean, you obviously see what's happening. A lot of propaganda and people supporting Hamas. And I think when you want to educate people and address a topic, you need to be obviously very educated about what you're talking. And through this presentation, through the speakers, I learned a lot of information that I think is really important to know, considering how complicated the situation in the Middle East is. So I really liked hearing what they had to say. Now I feel more confident in educating other people.
I'm also a student. I'm a senior. This is also my second year on this campus. Something that I've noticed a lot with Americans is that, especially with the rise of social media, is that when they see issues that happen around the world, that's like pockets of events that are happening, and we tend to lose the local connections between countries, between different groups, which provide very necessary context as to what's happening. And usually when I speak to other Americans about what's happening and I bring up things, say the Sunni-Shia relationship across Middle Eastern countries, many of them don't know what I'm talking about. So I think it's really good that the focus here was on context and giving an overall picture in relation to Israel.
I also want to add, I really did appreciate the fact that both speakers, they talked a bit about how this isn't just a problem in the Middle East, it's also a problem here in the U.S. I feel like that's really not stressed enough, and not a lot of people think of it in that way or realize. So I think that was really important to add to Birch.
We live in Miami, Florida, and our children all attended the University of Florida. We are very disturbed to see at 5 universities around the country the goings on with the tents and the misunderstanding of Israel's position and the sympathetic attitude toward the attackers. So tonight was very informative because as we listened about it, we got to see a true picture of what went on, true understanding of what the mission is of this entire organization. They have many different names, and it's all about getting rid of the state of Israel. Israel's a small country, and it needs support, and we need students to support it as well.
I thought tonight was really both compressive and exciting because it was completely fact-based. I thought that Avi did an incredible job really erasing the emotion of the facts, and by educating people about the history of what's going on. I mean, I grew up in a household that taught Zionism, went to a Zionist camp, worked in Israel, taught kids, this and that. I did not know, I would say 50% of the presentation I wasn't aware of those guys. So that really had a huge impression on me, and I think that made me better educated about how to educate others. That's number one. And number two, I think that this program really needs to reach out to other faiths besides Jewish people, because everybody needs to understand kind of the structure of the Middle East and not really zero in on the Israel component, but understand that this whole kind of axis of hate is something that's really affecting our entire world and not just this one specific region.
What I liked about the presentation was that it presented information that didn't seem to be present in the Western English-speaking world about this conflict, and it didn't really present one side being justified, the other side being justified. It was just like what factors led into this in that specific geopolitical sphere, and I feel like that's very valuable in that it kind of draws the emotion, that there's very heightened emotions around it, draws the emotion out of it and looks at it rationally. And I think that it was very good at talking about disseminating like the slogans, and more talking about what the Arab world and what the Hebrew speaking world thinks about it and how they're dealing with it rather than just our outside perspective, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm Ishmaeli. I work for Hillel BC doing Israel education and programming. The briefing that we just received from Avi and the Inside the Middle East organization was amazing. I myself also learned some things. I know a lot of the students learned some things. And it was really different in that a lot of organizations that we see that come in to give presentation to our students are typically Israel this, Israel that, and they're focusing on one aspect of the conflict, of the narrative within the Middle East, versus the presentation that Avi just gave was everything. It was who are the players, it was where are these things coming from, it's why are these doing things the way that they are, what is actually happening, and it was more comprehensive in terms of the education that was received. I think that is what we need more than Israel is great. Like, Israel is great and we should talk about it, but we also need to understand where everybody else is coming from, because if you don't have that basic education, how do we move on from here?
Hi, my name is Vern Dorothy. I work at the Ocean Morning Jewish Community Center in San Rafael, California. And I recently had the pleasure of watching an introductory video from Avi, and then participating in a staff Q&A today. I found the presentation immensely knowledgeable, and from a place that can easily explain the many different aspects of the issues facing the Middle East to those that aren't either knowledgeable or culturally attached. I very much appreciated the history behind everything, explaining the movements of different people and the different things that as an American I never knew about prior or took into consideration. So I highly recommend that anybody that has the capability of participating truly take the time to watch the video and ask any questions. It was so much information I didn't know before was given to me that put a lot of things into perspective that allow me to move forward in a way that's going to be beneficial for everybody that I encounter that I might have a conversation with about the subject.
So I think that tonight's event was very interesting. I believe that a lot of people, especially on college campuses, are very misinformed about what's going on in Israel and Gaza. And I feel like this presentation gave everyone the real details and the real facts to be able to go out and tell other people and to share with them what's really going on, because that's the most important thing. So I appreciate to be hosting this event, and it was great.
This presentation by Avi was so informative. It provides crucial lens into the topic of the geopolitics of the Middle East, both historical and current, and to have that context to be able to apply that into your discussions, into your classes, into your conversations, provides to be so important, especially now. And I can't recommend Avi and his enough.
So since October 7th, I've spent months and months just doing incredible amounts of research, reading books, following lectures, podcasts. I found in 1 hour, or I don't know, 2 hours, but Avi was able to summarize the entire conflict in a clear, succinct way, in a digestible fashion, to introduce people of all ranges of background to the situation in the Middle East. And I highly recommend his lecture to anybody who's interested in learning more than you can see on Twitter or on Instagram.
I recommend it.
Listening to Mr. Melamed right now is very, very impactful, especially what's going on campus and fighting anti-Semitism and being able to educate ourselves and educate others around us. I'm really happy we got the opportunity to listen and learn from him.
Hi, thank you, Avi, for such an amazing, amazing presentation. You bring so much intelligence and understanding to the Middle East and what it means to be in this world geocontextually. And I believe that this has been one of the most impactful events that we've had on this campus, and I'm very grateful for you to come attend.
Thank you, Avi, for coming all the way to DUE at Denver University, educating our students and community, and unpacking the region in such a digestible and educational way, and helping our students to be better advocate for Israel and the Middle East. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi there. My name is Jeff Horowitz. I'm the director of NJY Teen Camp and NJY Camps. And I just wanted to share how incredible I have found Avi Melamed as an educator for our teens and young adults, and as a partner to us at NJY Camps. His vast knowledge and background in Middle Eastern affairs and Arab affairs, in all things Israel intelligence, have really positioned him as an expert unlike any other in the field. He has this unique ability to draw on the history of the conflict, the history of the Middle East, the history of the kind of religious context that we find as a backdrop to the current events and the war in Israel and the war in the Middle East. And he brings that all together to make for really engaging, really informative sessions that teens and young people can follow along with. I can't recommend him highly enough, and he'd be an absolute value add to your curriculum or whatever you're trying to bring to your school or to your community.
Great. Hello, my name is Ed Mishner, and I am a past president of Bethel Congregation in Baltimore, Maryland. I had the privilege and honor to attend the Inside the Middle East conference held at Bethel Synagogue on September 28th and 29th. This conference was very illuminating, and I learned a lot of information about the Middle East and about the people of the Middle East. The information, the anecdotes, and the movies were very informative. I felt that what was most beneficial is that I got to hear the viewpoints of people of Arab descent, and I got to learn that not everybody is anti-Israel in the Middle East. I heartily recommend this conference for people who want to learn more about the Middle East and to have viewpoints that are based on fact and not just on what they hear in the media. Great.
Hi, my name is Michael Rubenstein, and my wife and I had the privilege of attending the Inside the Middle East conference held at Bethel. We really thought it was enlightening. A lot of views that we thought we knew about were changed by these speakers. We thought that the speakers were so courageous for what they stood up for and what they represented and the views that they stood behind. And it was just very enlightening.
Hey there, it's Andrew Schuster from Further Insights, and I'm so excited to be sharing the stage with Havi Buzo from Yella TV at this weekend's Inside the Middle East conference. Havi and I are going to dive into a variety of topics, but most of all, we're going to focus on the realities of state-sponsored disinformation campaigns and help the audience understand how we as the public can stop the spread of misinformation with simple tools just as basic as fact-checking. So there's a lot we're going to dive into, from AI and bots to case studies that showcase how powerful media manipulation can be if in the wrong hands. So we're excited to share our examples with you and really dive into this really in-depth topic, but also to hear from all of the other speakers and to understand this diverse array of collected perspectives as it relates to media and bias, not only in the Middle East, but how we in the West can really make an impact in helping to change hearts and minds and hopefully find common ground between reasonable minds. So really excited about this weekend. Can't wait to see you guys there, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Eva from the Columbus JCC, and I had the pleasure of working with Avi Melamed and bringing him here to speak to our community. I just want to share with you our community feedback has just been so powerful. Being a part of the conversation yesterday, watching everyone and super engaged with what he had to say. They were on the edge of their seat, wanting more information, asking amazing questions, and the responses that Avi was able to share with them was just so intelligent and meaningful and exactly what the community was wanting. My suggestion is, if he's coming to your city, please attend the program. You aren't going to want to miss it. It's amazing, and we are so grateful that he was able to come here, so make sure you check him out.
I'm Laurie from the Jewish Federation of Reading, and we just had the pleasure of having Avi come and speak for our leadership dinner and our annual lecture. He did a fabulous job of putting it into layman's terms, the history of the Middle East, which is so difficult to understand, but we had rave reviews for him as a speaker, which we don't always get, but people loved him, and they thought that he was an excellent speaker, and I would highly encourage anyone to hire him to come and speak for your
your community as well.
Hi, I'm Adam Levin. I just had an opportunity to attend the presentation, and the first thing I would say is I thought it was excellent. And the reason I thought it was excellent was because it was so informative and really let you know what was going on in Israel, in the Middle East, and there was no rhetoric. It was factual, and it was historical, and it really made me understand the reality of what's going on right now. Thank you.
He was wonderful, brilliant, eloquent, explained things in ways that we can all understand. I consider myself semi-knowledgeable about the conflict and the crisis and the history. I learned more in an hour with him than I have in years. Wonderful talk, very important to educate everyone.
Hi, I'm Amanda Beitman, the Development Director here at Bethel Congregation, and we are hosting this weekend, Inside the Middle East, a view from the region. We have experts coming in about the Middle East, all on different topics. It's going to be an incredible weekend. You'll learn so much and walk away feeling a little bit more empowered during these challenging times. We hope to see you this weekend.
Hi everyone, I'm Lishi Baker. I'm a student at Columbia University studying Middle East history. The last year has basically been defined by people screaming really loudly, but not knowing very much of what they're talking about. And the truth is that this session today just solidified for me how important it is to understand the broader context of the Middle East. If we even want to start having conversations about Israel, the Palestinians, what's happening in Lebanon, what's happening with Iran. So definitely big thank you to Avi for coming here and for giving us this briefing.
That's very good.
Hi, I'm Julia. I just heard Avi's briefing at Columbia. And I think it's safe to say Avi has a niche and unique perspective that you don't hear anywhere else right now. I consume a lot of news, American news, Middle Eastern outlets, news from Israel, Instagram. He has a perspective and a context that isn't being talked about and isn't understood by anyone discussing the region outside of the region. So I think it's really important to hear. And I came.
So tonight we had the privilege of hearing from Avi give us a really broad perspective on something that we really don't usually hear about, is the background of what's happening in the Middle East. And all the different players involved, and it really gave me a lot of information that I can take forward on having conversations with different peers on campus, different friends, really to be actually enlightened about the situation, and beyond just Israel and Gaza and the war, which we've heard so much about over the last year, but also broadly speaking, what's happening in the Middle East, and what has been going on there for many years and what continues to happen and will happen down the road.
I wanted to thank you guys so much for coming to campus. I found this a really valuable experience, learning about the context behind what is going on in the Middle East and what has led to where we are today. Gives me a lot of really helpful tools towards figuring out how to bring reasoning and logic and facts to the conversation regarding what's going on my college campus. I'm going to apply this to my life and all my future reasonings, the articles that I'll write, and the conversations that I'll have. I'm very excited.
Hi, my name is Mark Stein. I attended the ITME conference today, and it was such an interesting experience to learn about the situation at least in the sessions that I have attempted, the situation in the Middle East and in our assessment of it in the media and on social media is really changing right now. And I think that this conference offers great perspective from a number of true experts in their field to help us better assess what those changes are, how we can interact with them and help create a better future that we all believe in.
Thank you to Avi and Maya for bringing us amazing speakers here to Baltimore. It was super exciting and it's an amazing educational experience. I feel like it's just the tip of the iceberg. So much more to really learn and understand.
Hi there, I'm Cantor Schuster here at Bethel, and I'm so happy that I was able to come yesterday and today to hear the speakers for Inside the Middle East and learn so much. I'm so inspired. I'm really full of hope, and I'm so grateful for all of the speakers that were able to come together in such a unified way on the Bima here at Bethel.
Maya, thank you so much for all you have done to make my vision come true.
You're the best. Avi's the best. And I would like to try and help move this thing forward. So that's what I want to do with you.
Hi everybody, so I just finished this amazing conference, two-day conference with Inside the Middle East. We were speaking to communities here in Baltimore about the realities of the Middle East, North Africa, about the rising voices that are asking for peace, that are against anti-Semitism, that are against extremist terrorist groups. And, I think that is really important right now to be shared about the complex realities that a lot of people in the West and in the United States are unaware of. And the response we got was really amazing, so heartwarming. And it is hopeful, even for me as somebody who knows about these realities and what's happening in the region, to see the response that we got from the community here in Baltimore. And I look forward for future events to educate more people, bridge more gap, and to basically do the right thing, and that is to let people know about the realities and the hope that is rising in the Middle East, North Africa.
This is Dalia Ziada. I'm so happy that I spent these 2 days at the Beth El Synagogue with a great team of the Inside the Middle East, Maya and Avi, and all the great speakers. We discussed many topics ranging from social media up to radical Islamists and the threat on the West, and also the geopolitics of the Middle East, the Israel-Hamas war. And we were so lucky that there was a big piece of news overwhelming the discussions these days about the assassination of Hassan Nasrallah, or I would say the assassination of Hezbollah. So this was a great conference. I really hope I can participate and speak in similar conferences where hundreds of people are so interested in learning about the topics we speak about and learning about the future of our region, not only in Baltimore, but I look forward to replicating this in other cities with the same amazing team of speakers and organizers.